record on this computer. Okay, we're starting. And I guess the first one is HPL run.
Okay.
So in terms of progress, how have you guys done in terms of figuring out infrastructure around it and tuning? Or just go off.
Yeah, I guess for our cluster is going to use AMD CPUs, right?
AMD CPUs, yes.
Yeah, so
GPUs, not sure.
I was playing around a little with the AMD like binaries that they have. Um so they have their linear algebra library called BLAS. There are two versions. This is a question I have. I don't know if one or the other is better. I used the ILP one and it seemed to work. So I feel like, are we going to be using like their binaries, or do we have to like build our own, or like I
They
don't know how that
normally
works.
specify you how to run. So it's normally like a certain precision and also for a certain amount of time and a certain problem size.
Hey,
Otherwise,
actually, do you have a list of that? Because I kind of need that for impasse, and I kind of don't remember where to find that
what did you just say?
for that kind of information for like the precision and some of the parameters,
A
or is
lot
that
of
the day of?
it's normally day of they give you it. Yeah, a lot of it is day of, so you kind of have to like fuzz out a like problem space of like what could happen, and then go from there to day of competition. But let me see what ILP is. Continue.
Yeah. And then I found this tuning tutorial kind of. From my understanding, it basically runs it a bunch of times and then um like just like checking the parameters as it goes, and then it chooses the best one. Um, and then I got it running on my own server, which is AMD 2700X. I don't know if that matters. That's about it for this.
That should be fine.
So Jeremy, so your own server, is that like your personal computer? Is that like a virtual machine?
Oh no, I have like servers at home that I play with.
Uh,
Yeah,
Nice.
and also, wait, Tristan, you're also an alternate, right?
yeah.
Okay, I just find it kind of goofy that the two alternates are working on the same thing.
I think Austin was also looking into it, but we'll see.
Yeah, Austin is also looking to it, and I am, but I didn't do much this time. So, hey, so what does ILP stand for? Just to add it to the glossary.
So going off of a random thing I found, it looks like ILP is generally for integer, is for integer operations. So it's
Okay, well, I guess we'll update it on the glossary with a
I
better
might be wrong, but
definition.
I think it stands for integer linear programming, which is a set of
Ooh,
numerical methods for linear programming.
yay.
And
Okay,
integer is just
cool.
on the type.
All right.
So this is just kind of like a copy because I watched the YouTube video that was in the HPL Discord. It was about from like UC Santa Cruz. And I just kind of took notes on everything they went over, like the steps to set up the makefile. On step 3 though, like where you have to type like $path to get like the paths, like I couldn't actually, well actually it would be step 2 because like I couldn't load like the open MPICC modules. Like I keep getting like errors on Expanse when I try to run that.
Mm,
Is loading OpenMPI not a superset of OpenMPI-CC?
probably.
You might want to
Because
look into that. I don't know.
OpenMPICC is like the compiler, the
Because I
C
know
wrapper, right? So,
because I know you
OpenMPI should come with OpenMPICC. I know that if I that's the package that I downloaded on Rocky Linux, and it comes with OpenMPICC, MPI exec, MPI fort, MPI F77. Those usually come together when you download OpenMPI. So I'm pretty sure those should come together.
because I know you come across that problem when you do like things like module load GPU or load CPU where one will disable the other.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah, trending module list and then see if something happens between them.
Because sometimes they're in like the same section, and that means they're exclusive.
No idea. But with that
Yeah,
being said,
let me check.
Okay, cool.
No, you're presenting by the way.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, try doing module spider. Module spider was like, oh yeah, you've done it before, so
Yeah, because like if I could get past like this step, then I think I could get it running on Expanse.
yeah. Choose a menu. Okay, let's look at it later.
You can table that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but it's great that you've been looking at it because I built HPL. I ran it last spring, but I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of stuff. So
All right.
Yeah, HPL. Oh wait, one final comment. HPL actually seemed like when I did it, it was like really straightforward. Like,
should be.
yeah, like just put into the make file, you just have to like insert these 3 libraries, and that's about it. And like the hard part is the tuning. So I think
Yeah.
like
From what
once
I
you get past
remember,
this should not this shouldn't be that bad.
from what
Hopefully.
I remember on HPL, it was the only annoying things were setting up libraries and setting up, and then just tuning it. And HPCG is less of the libraries and more just tuning it.
Hey, Jeremy and Toe. Jeremy Toe. I gotta remember the same name. Sorry. Jeremy and Tristan. Tristan, what's your last name? Bow.
Babers.
Huh?
Babers.
Babers. Okay. Sorry, just when I think of names, sometimes I just need to remember everything. So would it be okay if we like? I'm pretty busy. I have a final tomorrow and then an exam on Friday. But is it okay if we do something time on the weekend or Friday night to work on HPL? Would that be cool?
I'm busy like all next weekend because it's like my birthday weekend. We're gonna
Oh,
go do
okay.
stuff. So
All right. Well, then some other time then. But okay. Just wanted to ask. Thanks.
Yeah, I think I have some other meetings on Friday, and then I'm not sure about the weekends yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll be busy.
Okay.
But like earlier, oh, early doesn't work for you though.
Also, if you
Yeah.
have questions running stuff on Expanse, I would email consulting@stsc.edu, or
Ooh.
if you're bold, email either Mahidar or Marty Candace, because they're normally they're like the experts on running stuff on Expanse, and they normally run the official HP or benchmark runs for Expanse.
Well, if you send an email to console@SDSC, it's usually Martin to answer those.
No, yeah, Marty's pretty on top of that stuff too.
Yeah.
But who was working at HPCG? I think it was
Kyle. And
he's gonna join later, so like he can
Right.
fill us in. ML Perf. So
ML Curve, there's a lot of updates. So today, this afternoon, an hour ago, I got it. I got make setup working on Expanse. And before I left for SDSC, which the meeting room was reserved, I closed my laptop. But now when I look SSH into Expanse, it seems like my job was terminated. So I'm not sure about that because I had it for 2.5 hours on GPU, but I'm not sure what is the result. So I probably
it might be because your SSH connection died, but I could be wrong. Or like I cut off. I don't know.
so probably need to make setup again.
Yeah.
So another thing is I joined the ML Commons Discord, and then Grigori was the co-founder of ML Commons, and we were planning to set up a meeting to talk about how to run ML Perf on AMD GPUs. And on top of that, I sent an email to Derek last week about checking in their updates on using AMD GPUs to run ML Perf, but he hasn't replied to me yet. And then I also sent out the email to invite whoever is expert in what is it, CM automation. If I'm
configuration management, which I
right.
believe I actually don't know.
Right,
Let me
let
some
me know if you know anything about the CM automation, because we probably need that for our running MLPerf on AMD GPUs. Right, and then today I also sent Marty an email regarding how to do the make setup on expense, and he replied to me that I need to have a mini conda environment, because otherwise, if I want to make setup, it needs some requirement that I'm not the root user, so it is impossible for me to run it without any environment. And then I also contacted my CSC175 professor, who has been in the semiconductor industry for 30 years. And he knew the executives of Intel, knew the executive of Qualcomm, but he said he couldn't, it is not a reasonable thing to bother those executives on lending us GPUs. So he recommended us to find local Intel cells. So I'm not sure if that is how likely that is. Right, we'll make our updates to Mary to see what is the next step. And then, well, if I'm wondering what is the performance of using V100 to run other stuff. No?
I am more towards just using AMD GPUs than to use V100s.
Too bad, too bad.
No, fuck your MLPerf. We're running
No.
CPU if everything else runs on it.
No. One node needs NVIDIA GPUs.
We use your laptop.
My laptop is going to die.
Man, it's crazy, man. The MLPerf seriously just runs on NVIDIA. That just
It's because it's
hard to
running.
believe.
It's written primarily in what, PyTorch and TensorFlow, and those have primarily backends for NVIDIA because NVIDIA dumps a ton of money into it. With
NVIDIA is the lord of machine learning and AI.
screw you,
at the
If-
moment.
screw you. If we have
But yeah.
if we
Wait,
have AMD,
legitimate question. Like, could we just like have an extra GPU in one node
yes,
like, use that to run?
yes,
MLPerf?
yes, we
What is-
could.
what do
We
you
very
mean?
much could. And if it's on one node, it's probably fine.
So
Yeah.
like, if you guys have like
Wait,
both
is it ML
GPUs
inference?
MLPerf inference benchmark.
Do they need FP64 performance?
FP6. No, those mainly are FP32.
Wait, does it run multi GPU?
I assume so.
We might be able to get with at least MLPerf. We might be able to get away with just using consumer cards.
Consumer cards, why not V100s? We can get those from expense.
Because we could get newer consumer cards.
No,
I am not using
90 is not good. Well, it is good. Well, actually, it's hard to say. Probably better than V100.
Wait, Kai, what were you gonna say?
context. I say a lot of things.
You said that you think you could what? You could get these cars or what?
No, I'm saying they're a lot more accessible, or in terms of
Oh.
availability.
Oh, okay.
Well,
But
they're also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
because it's either between getting one node with just consumer cards to run only MLPerf, or swapping out all of our GPUs with AMD Instinct and just having every other application run fine on AMD Instinct and have the only issue be MLPerf. Because MPass does work with AMD Instinct, and so does HPL and HPCG. So
Wait,
it's like,
are you allowed to swap hardware?
No.
I mean, probably not, right? Yeah, okay.
after benchmarks are done, you cannot change your hardware, which is annoying. Or you can, but you have to redo your benchmarks.
Hmm. So you can't.
Yeah, because benchmarks come before applications.
Well, one thing I thought of for the competition, what if the mystery application only runs on Intel?
Intel?
Yeah, and we have like all AMD or NVIDIA, I mean.
So
Just
judging
remember.
from how last year panned out, mystery app really boiled down to whoever could just get it working at all. And a lot of scientific codes can run CPU only, so we might be fine just to do that.
Okay.
Well, also I have some updates from Beijing University.
Mhm.
The team lead mentioned that if they can get any sponsors from United States, they probably will use nvidia A800, which is has 70% performance of A100 GPU cards.
The fuck? When did they come out? Wait, why? What? Where is A800 from?
It is a special version that is only made for Chinese market. So nvidia, the US government prohibited
Right.
from selling A100 and H100 to the Chinese market. So nvidia made some changes to the cards and made it A800 to sell them to Chinese markets.
Interesting.
Wow.
I
Oh, I see.
love US Chinese trade relations.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't think we can get A800s though. I don't know, bro. I'm leaning towards that instinct. At any rate, ML perf seems a little scuffed in terms of what we're gonna do. Sorry, I got it. Okay, no, you're good, Jeremy. Next, I think, and pass.
What? Okay. Sure. This is kind of the same thing as I spoke in the last meeting, but just doing it with more stuff, doing it on our Evans. I have not gotten it working on Expanse, but at least I'm kind of on the same page with Austin, so that's pretty cool. Uh, hmm. I guess something nice would be to try getting it working on GPUs, but Evans doesn't have GPUs, does it?
You could try to get it running on Expanse,
I guess that's the only option for now. So
unless we spin up Neil in the data center.
no,
No,
probably not.
not worth it. Fair enough.
I mean, it could be worth it, but like it's just, well, I mean, we would need to find space first. But it's just more so like taking it out of where it currently is, which is
Right.
sure it isn't that bad, but it's just getting into an agreement with okay, now can we use it? I'm not sure we have permission. So,
Mm,
all right. Hmm. Oh yeah, I guess I should practice getting it run with MPI and segmenting it. That's also why I was asking about the stuff earlier about, oh, so do we have a list of like stuff and arguments we want to run, what precision, and that just kind of get like a better flow of what I need to do, but that's
if you
fine.
don't know what input parameters to use, I would see if you can just like find some form of problem space that you can just like measure out the performance.
Yeah, that's true.
Or just do they have like a recommended settings? And you just use those for now.
I think they do. Maybe just the default ones.
Okay.
All right.
MHD is Gloria and
Well, I can update on this. I'm the second lead for 3D MHD.
I hear it's a struggle.
Well, I wrote this down. I had a meeting with Gloria last week to discuss more about 3D MHD. It seems like she's going to take a closer look at the paper but the paper's math heavy and strong background knowledge required. So probably we need a mentor to help.
I'll see if Mary knows anyone. She might, because she used to do this stuff, but it's been a couple years for her. But for the math heavy stuff, what I would do is just skip the math and try to understand it later.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what you should do.
Which is what I did with Repro.
You need a hands-on practice on this stuff. So
Right, and then still for the code, it only has several files, but the main thing is to decompose the make file. Make file has everything in it. As long as we get the make file figured out, and then we are able to run at 3D MHD. I haven't figured out the details yet because I didn't look into 3D MHD. I assume Gloria did some during the weekend. She said she's on vacation, but earlier today she said that she will work on this today, and we'll see her updates later when she joins.
Let's see. And for me, we're on next slide, Tristan.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, no, it's Joe. So Repro. So I went through the paper, and it's a lot of it is leveraging one's a library and one is a scheduler. Star PU is the scheduler, and Chameleon is a math library trying to do the distribution. But it sort of raises a lot of because I am not sure how they calculate. So they have graphs on let me see, you can pull it up. They have like graphs on like how certain tiles are distributed. If you can see, I can't screen share, it'll crash my Zoom. Right, but I'm not sure how they calculate max gigaflops for any given system, and I'll probably have to look into that. Outside of that, it seems like it's running only CPU, so I can get away with not using GPU, which is very nice in terms of getting hardware, because we basically have the nodes or the CPUs locked down. We just need the GPUs. And in terms of, I need to review a lot of the LD, the Cholesky decomposition and some of the tiling information that they reference a lot, and also some like other block distribution methods because they reference it a lot because it's always done in comparison. And outside of that, it's the algorithm itself defines like 4 operations. I need to go figure out what those do. But I think those are just BLAS operations, if I remember correctly. Gem.
what is StarView and Chameleon? I see it.
StarPU is basically a communication library that works on top of MPI to do all the job, like because what the paper tries to do is reduce communication overhead or volume so that you can perform Cholesky decomp with faster, basically.
And
But
Chameleon?
Chameleon is a math library on top
Okay.
of I think it's on top of Intel MKL, which might be a problem because we're using AMD stuff, but I don't think it should be too much of a problem. And then we have to figure out how we have to figure out how to do their scaling for Repro. Because last year we used cloud for scaling, but this year we don't have cloud. So how do we like sort of model so that it should be rather straightforward in terms of, at least on the low end. And then after that, let's see. But my big question is, I can't find the code for the paper, so I don't know if we have to implement it or not. Which I think we might end up having to do. I could probably just ask the discourse. And for home team. So last year what we did was let me pull it up. We had sort of a home team projects type thing where they did things tangential to the competition team, so that the competition thing had other things that wasn't just whatchamacallit. That wasn't just applications and stuff. So things like networking, infrastructure, I did, and some people did monitoring stuff, like Mate. And what else did we do? I think Danny figured out our power, and a lot of people just helped out getting applications running. So I guess my question to Roger and who dropped out?
Did you?
Pardon?
Oh, Xijun.
Oh, Zijun. He looks like he dropped out, but
Yep.
we'll have something similar on Thursday, anyways. But Moose. Oh, hey Zarif.
Hello.
We just finished some of our updates for application stuff, but I guess we can sort of fill you in on what we just did on each application. But I guess home team's roles a lot of the time is working on infrastructure surrounding applications, setting up the cluster, and or helping out on applications. So I guess what is your guys' interest primarily? Roger and Zarif, and I'll probably ask the home team.
Wait, could you say that again?
Okay, so home team is essentially the same as the travel team, except they don't really compete day of. So what a lot of people end up doing is either working on infrastructure surrounding the cluster, like monitoring software, network, some documentation stuff, maybe some viz, because we get a TV that we can do run analytic, like we can display analytical on if we want, and or helping to get figure out like how applications scale or work. So I guess my question is, what are you guys interested in?
The applications thing.
And what about Roger?
I'm not too sure. I'm kind of like interested in a lot of stuff. ML perfs, I can like look into it a little, and otherwise, like the infrastructure stuff could be fine for me too.
So for infrastructure stuff, you would actually have to look into the actual applications, because actually, and also I need to figure out how we're doing the cluster, because do we want to run a scheduler like Slurm? It'd be wise actually.
You have the best decision making on this. So
I will say I'm leaning towards yes, because last year we didn't have one, and what ended up happening was someone was running a application on one node, right?
David and Anish.
And David was compiling something on a different node, and we broke power budget, and that's a big thing. Also, if you want to look into like things like this is more when the cluster arrives, but remote control or out of band management stuff like IPMI and BMC stuff, but that'll be handled when we get to it. And do you guys know what the applications are, or like benchmarks?
No
with?
clue.
So we have HPL, which is the premier benchmark. It gives you the biggest number. It's the benchmark that gives you the biggest number, and that's the only reason why like people use it. But it boils down to doing a linear solve of some AX equals B linear solution, linear system, and you're trying to run it distributed. You don't really need to know how it does it, but if you want to. But the primary thing is like how to tune the input parameters such that you get the biggest number basically on a given problem set. HPCG is similar, except it's conjugate gradient, which I still need to look into. But it's more communication heavy than HPL is, so it touts itself as being more reflective of more modern applications, because the bandwidth at the end of the day is always communication. Conjugate gradient, I'll look into this, but it's some numerical method that is very nice when you're scaling some linear solve across or distributed, because you don't have to solve the whole system at once. which is what happens a lot of the time. ML perf, Zishan can talk about it. It's running a ton of models and their performance. Yeah, it's a lot of AI models. So like a lot of it is what image classification or
Image, NLP, and recommender, and
Yeah.
audio to text. Actually, I'm not quite sure during the benchmark, during the competition, are we only required to run one of those or
I-
all of those?
it's only a subset. I don't
Oh.
think they'll tell you till day of.
Huh, I see.
So you kind of have to run them all to figure out how each of them perform.
Well, if likely, if possibly, we're going to figure out something, the software to run on AMD, then we have to figure out the software for every models to run on AMD.
But it's like for AMD, it's mostly a backend thing, though.
Not too sure.
We'll look into it later. MPass is what? It's an atmospheric simulator. Paco?
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm
it
wrong.
does more than that. It's just, but yeah, we will be using the atmospheric core. So essentially, we'll be giving a mesh, which kind of like shows an area and gives initial conditions. It will simulate kind of an atmosphere pressure, wind speed, and a lot of other stuff too. But when we visualize it, I guess the most interesting is those. So
And then we have 3D MHD, which is a simulator that for is a magnetohydrodynamic simulator for I think plume evolution, which basically just means how does a plume work inside the sun over time. The only complicated thing is it requires a fair amount of knowledge of differential equations, and as during interviews you kind of need to know that, but also this code is kind of arcane and old. It's from like 90s to early 2000s. So if you look into the code, they'll do like manual loop unrolling, and it's terrible to read. And then for repro, it's a paper on improving Cholesky decomposition performance by reducing communication frequency. And a lot of it is just you kind of need numerical, like you need to know some numerical analysis. And if you have like I think vector calculus background, you can sort of skim a numerical analysis textbook to kind of get the gist of it, of what's going on. And I can provide resources for that if you want to look into it. But those are the big the mains, or those are the 6 applications that we're going to be tested on. And so opinions, thoughts. I need to post a textbook. Where do I school? No, it's not.
Are we gonna assign everyone to like a specific application, or like how is it gonna work
It's
out?
mostly a out of interest type thing.
I see.
Yeah. So like most, I don't know. I wanted to do repro because I am a math major, and it seems nice. With a big asterisk because I don't know if we need to run code or we need to make code. But it's really based on how your interest, like which one interests you the most.
I'm not sure. I want to like look into like all of them and then see like, oh, which one I like.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It took me.
So is it gonna be something similar to like last quarter where like different application have like different meeting time, stuff like that?
Did we do that?
What was the question?
So, is it gonna be like last time where we had different meeting times for depending on application?
Uh, it depends on
The group. So basically what we do is we have a general sync meeting, which is actually Thursdays. Today's supposed to be a work meeting, but whatever. And then everyone's groups for like HPL, HPCG, what have you, meets separately on a need basis in terms of like when you guys want to work together or like discuss stuff.
Kai, I put you down as the second lead for HPCG. I'm not sure if Kyle has contacted you.
No, he has not, and
Oh,
I need to read up on HPCG myself because I've been kind of focusing on an ML or not ML repro. But I need to write like some notes that make it easy for people to at least start on repro, and then maybe I can try to tackle MHG to help out Gloria and group. And I guess yeah, it's you. But yeah. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Because I think Mary's gonna drop in about hardware stuff.
Hey, so, right, should we fix anything for Cammy? Do we want to make a big email? Because it seems like she's gonna be asking for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Who has not sent something to Tammy?
I did not send any.
Tammy is only for people who are traveling.
I know. So,
I'm exempt, but
are the alternates also traveling?
alternates are also traveling.
Yeah, so it's most of it here.
The only ones not traveling is home team.
So, Jeremy and Tristan, have you guys?
Jeremy's out.
Oh yeah, you're right. No.
I just got back.
Oh, hey Jeremy.
Well,
All right, so yeah, cause she's asking for stuff that we're gonna share. What was that? Oh, someone's in the background. So yeah, she's just asking. In fact,
But I would email Tammy as soon as possible, just so that because travel through Concur is kind of a headache initially.
yeah, I contacted her already. She wants like the details of the trip, and I do not know those.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's a Mary question.
Okay.
Okay.
But do we individual need to send an email to Tammy?
You need to set up your account first. That's the initial. That's the main thing.
Okay.
What's her email address?
I pull it up.
What was the software that we're using, the platform to book ticket?
Concur. Concur.ucc.edu.
Here's an email on the chat. If it would
Wait,
let me
so
paste. Oh,
are we
someone sent
are we
it.
supposed to have a Concur account, or
You have
No.
to email Tammy to get a Concur to get access to Concur so we can set up the trip at all.
It's a pain.
Yeah, it's a
On
pain.
it. Yeah.
How do you spell concur?
It's kind of done for you if you're an employee, so that's why I don't have to do it. But if you're a student, it's a bit more complicated.
So I had to go through last time. Concur it's the American word CONCUR. Do you concur? Like the doctors.
Other than that, I think Mary's gonna drop in about 4 minutes. We'll see. And
Let me make a Google Docs for this.
we need to finish the poster by
Poster.
Thursday. I'll probably work on it tonight. I've been kind of swamped with
Yeah,
things at the
I'll
moment.
probably work on it on a weekend and maybe a little on these days. It's just gotta focus on my final midterm.
No, class comes first. Just get through the class. Is it a 111?
Yeah, and 141. TSC 141.
Ooh, the big 2. But no L?
41.
I took the L.
Oh, you take the last quarter.
No, I mean that I took the I'm not taking it.
Oh.
I don't know, dude. 5, it's just annoying, dude, because like I don't know all this stuff for it, and then they're like, oh well, you have 5 weeks and you need to have these milestones ready. And it's like, what the heck? I have to learn twice as much, and like
a lot of the people I know that did well in that class kind of planned out their stuff before they even went into the class.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I didn't have teammates, so
Oh, that's rough.
yeah.
One
Like, I
for
know
you.
I did see
Yeah.
David, and I did see John, and I did see what's his name? I think it was Ben Sterling. And they were a team right before, but then it's also David. So I was like, all right.
I mean,
Yeah,
when
that's
I know when Yash did it, it basically boiled down to um one person does the architecture and one person does the software.
Huh.
But a lot of pre-planning is nice in that class. Do we get trip dates and estimated cost and all that? Ask Mary. Trip date is November 12th to the 17th. And estimated cost that's just forwarded to Mary. But
wait. No, don't do that yet. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, but like considering we're all gonna be sharing that info, let me put that in a Google Docs and then share it. That way we can all
yeah,
have that same information.
but the main thing is getting access to. Do you have access to Concur yet?
You gotta do that for sure.
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, so what Tammy said is that if I'm not an employee, then she's gonna do it through her Concur account. I think.
Hmm. I see.
So I don't think I get a Concur account. I think
That
she's gonna
is
set up a travel request on her Concur account for me.
okay. I mean, whatever works out, but we need to be on the same page for everyone. Is all. Because I know
Okay.
that last year a lot of everyone had Concur accounts, so I don't know if it's different this year.
There's no way everyone had Concur accounts. That's fucking false. Oh, I
do you
shouldn't
mean?
curse. I'm being recorded.
What
There's
do you
just
mean?
no way. There's just no way.
Wait, why?
Because what are the odds? Why would everyone have a Concur account?
No, everyone set up one, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And it was a headache because we did it like the month before the competition.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that being a pain.
So the sooner the better. Let's see. Other than that, I guess we can talk about the some infrastructure stuff. Because
A pain in the ass that we can't get NVIDIA GPUs. Even
oh my god, fuck you and your NVIDIA GPUs. We're gonna use Instinct.
they promise well, the
Wait.
tricky thing is we were
Zishin,
asking for 24 H100, and then it turns out we only need 12 H100. And then it turned out that they are not going to give us H100. We're asking for 12 A100. And then they said they can only give us 6, but now they can't even give us once. They can't even give us one card.
yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
So what if we just ran everything on NRP? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Terrible.
Hey, Zishin, do you have a PC?
Yes.
What's your graphics card on that?
3060.
Hey, my man.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Have you tried running MLPerf on your laptop, Jushin?
A laptop? Are you kidding me? It can't even load a data set.
Oh, true. Oh, true. Oh, true. I forgot about that. Who did that? Let's see. Let's see.
Also, I
Okay.
do not have an NVIDIA card on my laptop.
Wait, so what can we edit from this travel info? Ah, shoot, do we have on hand when we're departing? When we're going back? And we're going to
Normally,
Denver.
what we did last year was we got there on Saturday before the competition, in which we landed at I think 9, and we taxied over and we got to the convention center around I think 1 or a bit late, so we have to do the orientation. Because the issue is
Yeah,
that
but for this one, for the look, I posted it on the I sent it to the travel team on over Discord.
right.
Or so we can update what we want to respond to Tammy with. So that's what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Departure date 11, 12,
You just
23.
have these memorized.
Wait, no, I might be wrong. 1 second. Let me check my calendar. I have some dates memorized, not all. It is the 11th. That was 1 day off. 11th return date 11/17, I think. '17, 23. Project task. Mary, please. um you can fill in Mary about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, poster we will need to work on, but that's whatever. Let's see.
Yep.
Let me check the who does not have access to the drive actually? The
What
team drive. The
Oh.
team the whatchamacallit?
I
The
don't.
I need to see who that was. Zarif?
Posers. Yep.
Yes. And we need to add you to the GitHub group. So it's actually probably in the SCC internal thing, right? The form.
Wait, what game?
The SCC 22 and 23 tech
Oh,
stack repo
Yeah, the text.
where we just dump all of our
SSH keys.
your scripts and stuff. Please do not whatchamacallit.
Put your private SSH keys on there.
That and or binaries, but that's like GitHub best practice stuff. So home team members. No confirmation. Aha, GitHub account. The questions in the response are CSC 160 is not offered. Yes. I have. You'll need expanse access. Correctly. Things to do.
What are you talking about?
Just random things to put the home team on work. Lemmings.
Okay.
No, I need to add them to the GitHub repo and stuff. Are these people
So-
who
Is the whole home team, do they all have access to? Should they all have access to Expanse and the
People-
clusters?
they should have access if they have joined meetings.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying because like if we're working on something and then it changes because someone changed that file, it'll be very difficult if there's a really big group of us.
Yes.
But that shouldn't come to be.
That shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm just gonna give it access as it comes. You know?
But yeah, actually to the guys here, so Zishan, Tristan, Jeremy, and
Yes.
I guess also Zarif. Don't I sent a I'll send it again because you guys seem to have forgotten. I'll post it here. But I sent a Google form so I can give you guys access to a cluster that we have. And so fill it out, please, so you can have access to it.
Can I have access to it?
Evans, yeah, you do, or you should.
For the username, Is it whatever I
Whatever
want?
you want. What the
Okay.
username that you want. All
I've
right.
just been
Who
using
do
my
you want to
UC.
be?
I just been using my AD.
According to Yuchen, Paco Lord is post audio color Damon. So pick whatever you want.
You know, I
How did he get that? How did he?
because he lives looking at system CT like system D like services. It's funny. Oh, hi, Mary.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Good. This is the optional meeting, so not
Not too good.
turnout was whatever.
Okay, great. Yeah, I can't tell the difference. So I did just finish up a meeting with SDSC planners for future systems, and I told them about our challenge, and they're looking at AMD instincts down the road, maybe, maybe not. And I said, so. And the word is out what I wanted to really share with you guys is I had reached out to Jeanette Tillotson earlier in the week and said, hey, here's what's happening. You know, we're being told if we're lucky, we're going to get 6 GPUs, and I'm not even seeing and hearing that those are coming through. And then I'm reading about how unavailable they are. And she goes, well, that's true. There's a supply side issue. So what she told me, and this is, she hasn't told everybody, but she did let me know that basically she picked applications that all ran on CPU and didn't require GPU. Okay, so she goes, you can run your HPL, you can run everything on CPU without GPUs. And so she goes, you might not win, but you can come. You can bring a machine. Kai, you're looking happy about that.
So Zishan is very adamant about getting NVIDIA GPUs to run MLPerf, and I am adamant about what if we just got AMD Instinct and got every other application running and maybe just run
Wait,
AMD
so
MLPerf
excuse me
inside.
if I'm maybe not seeing the best here, but would this mean that we would benefit from having more nodes, like for more CPUs? That way we can just kind of manage not having that many GPUs? Or is that just not worth it for the power?
You mean like a 4-node system without any accelerators?
Yeah, just asking.
You could look at the numbers, and we'd have to talk to Patrick about that. Um, I I'm okay with that. The idea is to get you guys there. I mean, we wouldn't want to not go because NVIDIA couldn't come through. We spent all summer. I'm very frustrated. And today I sent out a note to Anthony and Bob and Mahi, and that's it. Like I kept it really small on purpose and saying, what can you tell me? Because I forwarded the note that Jeanette put out, which you guys all got because you're on the team, right? Today's email, or was it yesterday? I can't remember.
Yesterday.
So I was in this meeting. So anyway, she's basically telling me, come play, because I knew this was going to happen. And so what I didn't know, and if you go to the discourse channel, somebody wrote that last year NVIDIA gave all the teams A100s. And I'm going, oh my God, no one told me. I hadn't heard about it. Had you guys heard about this? I haven't heard of it happening since before COVID, when I had teams and I brought them to SC from San Diego State. So I'm trying to chase down that rumor. I noticed she didn't answer me, but we couldn't reach out to people we know from last year. But if all those teams who had NVIDIA's got to keep all those loaner cards, then we really blew it from that perspective, because some of those teams coming back are going to have A100s. So I don't know what else to do, except at the end of the meeting today, they were talking about the pros and cons of AMD Instinct. And I said, so if we decide to not use NVIDIA and go with AMD, does that mean I can get them for my student cluster competition team? Because right now we can't get our hands on any A100s. And Frank goes, that's ridiculous. We'll get you some if we have to pull some out of a machine. So, and And so, and I think he meant it because I said, you know, if I don't do the Instinct, I'm going to go there with a 3-node Supermicro AMD Milan cluster and no accelerators. And they all went, what? So I kind of played the broken heart card at the end of a meeting inappropriately, but I had everybody there that I wanted to send an email to anyway, because I've been trying to figure out what do we do without an accelerator. So we might end up with some A100s from NRP. So he said we can pull some out of a test node on Nautilus or something. How many do you have over there, Kai? Give me a
Let me check.
heartbeat.
I have resources actually. I can check.
Okay.
Wait, Kai,
Is it
last time you showed me the page with many A100 on Nautilus.
Yes. They're all PCIe based. We can just pull them.
they're PCIe based? I'll take it. Right. We want NVLink, but Frank said, he goes, they're all PCIe based, and I'm thinking, I don't care at this point. I just can't envision going to the meeting without the hardware. So
Likely it is to pull those A100 from Nautilus.
It
yeah, but
depends on where they
Frank,
are,
they
right?
have some extra, they have, Zhijan, I know they have some test nodes, and we only need them until November 12th, literally. He can have them back Friday night. Kai can get on a plane Friday, and he can go and plug them in, and they'll have them back.
Sure,
Maybe they
that
won't be,
is
they'll probably have to be configured and you know, updated and, you know, cleaned up and reformatted for Nautilus, but he has a lot.
9, 10.
wow, this is the greatest news I've heard since the NVIDIA problem supplying the AMD
8,
NVIDIA
9,
GPU.
10.
Yeah.
15. So there are 18 free right now.
83.
18
18.
like 18 that are not being used currently.
Okay, cool. I'll send a note to Frank and thank him for the offer, and tell him, you know, that you're willing to help get them for us, and we could start with just a few. We have to get a cluster, and what we are going to have to do is tell Patrick, just get us a cluster, and we start working on it, and we'll put them in ourselves. I mean, we've got guys who are experts in installing GPUs on Expanse, and CPU, I mean, a A100 and a V100 ought to install similarly, but we'll have to do some extra work if we can't count on Supermicro to do the integration. So it's a little bit of extra work, but it's better than nothing.
Happy.
Kyle, I can always tell when you're happy. You're always go like this.
I mean, it was either that or we go with Instinct and see if that works, but
Both actually, both are really good paths. The GPUs, your expectations are that you're going to win one of the benchmarks, right? Or something to do with AI. You'll win that part of it because you got the GPUs. But Instinct, you'll get to do something new and novel and different, and they'll work mostly on everything. And it would be just a contribution to a new technology that's still developing. So both are good paths. You don't lose with either one. Going without an accelerator is a huge retro. And so we would be the retro team, and you'd figure out a way to make that a good path as well. So, we win no matter what. We win no matter what, even if we don't place first on something. So you have different challenges every year. But I think that Frank will make sure we have some kind of an accelerator.
Great.
So Kai looks happy.
stress
All right, what
gone.
Mary,
stress? Yeah, yes.
have you received my email regarding to the co-founder of ML Commons is trying to set up a meeting with us to talk about running a ML perf on AMD GPUs?
No, that's a interesting idea. I don't remember if I saw something from you.
Right, I
Um,
sent it out earlier around noon today.
okay. Let me look.
Also, for those who
There,
didn't notice, tomorrow is the benchmark webinar.
Mm.
and it's really early, but not as early as my meeting today, which was 5 a.m. But theirs is what, 7 a.m.?
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. So, okay, so Zijan, is that the one with Pranav Prabhu?
Or
No,
no,
no.
no. Uh,
I do not have permission updates. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing one directly from you, Zijan.
Wait.
Does it have SCC in the
No,
subject?
no. It doesn't have. I realized that after I sent out the email, I type in the subject here into the chat.
But is this the okay. Yeah, because I'm not seeing it. What are we trying to do is figure out when we can all meet. Just forward me the email and put SCC23 in the top. I filter everything into the SCC23. And I've literally had meetings all day and I'm trying to finish my second NSF annual report and getting tired. Meetings. What's the guy's name?
Grigori.
His name is Grigori Furson.
Okay, I don't know his name.
How do I CC? How do I forward it to you with a new subject SCC?
You just forward and type it into the subject line.
Subject?
Oh, wait, hold on. I see an email from you and I looked for ML comments.
Right. ML comments, yes.
Okay, hopefully, well, we might not need to do this, but let's meet with this guy. And even if we end up getting A100s, we've made a connection and he could be a team mentor. So well done, Zijan. I love it. I created a meeting for the next 7 days. So let me look. Did you get a response from, so far it's just you and I, right?
Right. Also,
right.
did Kai put it in?
Huh?
The when to meet.
I did not.
I think Marty received the email as well, and then he said he will look into it next week. But I'm not sure if he will join the meeting and fill out the when to meet.
Yeah, I think the more effective way to do this, Zijan, is write him and say, tell us some free times that you've got, and then we'll see which ones work. Because I find when you're imposing on somebody, make it easy. So give them some windows, like, we know that the best time is 9 hours ahead. And so doing something around 7 or 8 a.m. For us, I would do 6, 7, or 8, which is what, 4 or 5 and 6 p.m. So he might go to 9 or 10. So do like a 7 to 10 a.m. and ask him for next week so we can get the ball rolling. When he's available, then we'll see if there's an overlap.
Sure. Yeah, originally I asked him what are his time slots available, but he sent me the 9 a.m. in his time, and then he said it will be afternoon my time, but when I looked it up, it is 1 a.m. in our time.
Oh, did you let him know?
Yes,
Give
I
him,
said, yeah.
okay, yeah, give him both time zones, and find out what and you can CC me on anything like that. That's fine. But get the S.
I mainly talked to him on Discord.
Oh,
What?
Yes.
he's on Discord. That is so cool.
Because I joined the ML Commons Discord channel, and then I asked if anyone has run MLPerf on AMD, and then he responded that he ran it on TPU. And if I'm interested, we can talk more about it.
Okay, Marty Candace is through the Icicle project, working a little bit with ML Commons, so he also is familiar with it. So he's somebody who, as we try and put together, talking to Derek, he's somebody we might want to also just keeping him aware. And he, so, all right, so I'm going to do one more topic and then pop back out unless you guys have other questions, but it's just about the home team. The home team looks like we've got not bad response, 30%, and maybe a couple more dribbling in.
15 of them fill out the form.
Wow, that's fantastic. Excellent. Okay. So they can start dropping in when they want. What are you guys wanting to study on Thursday?
I want to flesh out more of the application side stuff and some of the infrastructure that we're going to install in the cluster, but otherwise I don't have a general road plan.
I'm tempted to ask Patrick if you guys can play with the Neil.
Yeah, it would be
Neil,
very nice to be able to use Neil.
send me, yeah, I think so. There it is. It's got instinct accelerators. It's got what we need to get started. It's a 3-node AMD Milan cluster. So let me send Patrick a note. And it may be, feast or famine. Frank is talking big about I can give you A100s. So I am going to follow up with him. But if not, I'll tell him I think we can get instincts from Patrick, although I haven't asked him. And it might be that we can't get them because they take 8 weeks, and Frank can give us some tomorrow. Now. So I'll run this by Frank. I think first of all we should make a decision if we can about A100s. And otherwise, how many instincts do we have in that, Neil? Is it 1 instinct or 4?
It is 4 with
Wow.
2 compute dies per the 1. So 8 total.
8 instinct
8 in
accelerators.
8 in software, 4 physically.
Okay, so yeah, I have no idea what's going on with these Canada guys. Every few weeks I send them a note. Oh yeah, we're gonna get that, and then nothing happens. So I will ask Frank about the A100s and then tell him our backup bot, because right now Supermicro and AMD would like SDSC's business as well, because we're always looking at new systems, so take advantage of that position. Okay, what else is bubbling around? Posters coming along, right?
Yeah,
It's due.
It's due the 10th. I want at least the first draft done by Thursday. So I'll be working on that.
I want to review it, so let's make sure it's there on Thursday. Jijan or Kai, for these Thursday meetings, let's put out agendas. Those are really helpful. It reminds people, like you sent it out the night before. And then it gives me a reminder too, and the mentors. I need to make a new mentor Google group. We have the planning group now. I'm going to start building the mentors. And did you guys make any progress on the document that's listing the different applications and the team prime? I know we had a prime and a second person. And did we identify mentors for each of them?
We
I think
identify
all of them
lead
except for maybe
MHD, 3D MHD.
MHD and Repro.
I sent out the link in the
repro.
chat.
Okay. All right, and another third final thing, Paco, I sent you an email. If you guys are planning to do a supercomputing club kickoff meeting, getting a location. Remember last year you got screwed. Well, it was booked before you were able to plan it. So if you think you want to meet up the first or second week and you want it to be a Tuesday or a Thursday night or something, let's solve that now and get the auditorium. So you guys start talking. I think I've got club leadership right here. You could just arbitrarily pick something and let Cindy know. They're all open mostly right now. So Paco, you guys pick some times, reach out to Cindy, CC me and ask her which of the days might be available. So first week or second week, what do you guys think?
I want to say second week.
I want to say second week too. But
Why?
I do have a meeting planned for like all officers on Friday. So if it's okay, I would like to like on Friday
Sure.
reply to that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think second week, I agree. Because first week is when they have all the tables, right? You could get a table. And then the second week, a lot of people I learned when we did our celebration luncheon last year, they don't come the first week. They fly in the weekend before the second week. And so you want to make sure you hit the people that are in town when they're in town. Okay, and for sure we'll have pizza and stuff like that. So, or some alternative food, maybe footlongs or Subways or whatever's. Actually, I did a calculation one year. I looked at buying like the mega Subway sandwich, like the 6 foot long one, and have them chop it into pieces. And it turned out I got double the food if I got like 15 or 20 footlongs and had them cut up. It was cheaper, and I got more sandwich. Anyway, what we can talk about, the what kind of food and stuff. But it really is time. I'm glad you're ahead of me on the game, Paco. And then you might reach out to Cindy and say, what days and times is the auditorium available in week 2? And that way she's happy to answer that question quickly. And what times do you guys think you might want it? 3 to 5, 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 7 to 8. And so you could just ask her, are they open? And she can give you some times. For her, that's something she can do pretty readily.
Okay.
And then you have that information to take to your officers. And I sent a note to somebody, I can't remember who, but the club page, Supercomputing Club, it's horrible. I mean,
Yeah,
it's really
so
awful.
the thing is that when we joined with IEEE, they were supposed to help us out with that. But then it turned out that their webmaster graduated and there was no replacement. And I kind of found out that kind of late. Instead, I got messages like, hey, actually, yeah, she's leaving and there's no one else. And that's been kind of stressful because I would have wanted it to like be worked on last semester. But yeah, I guess we can update it with the sponsors. I did notice that Microsoft wasn't there anymore. And that's something that you asked us to add on there. So
Microsoft is buying your t-shirts. Are you kidding? They need to be on there.
yeah,
Yeah, so where is it hosted? It's on a GitHub repo, right? So
yeah.
that's not a problem. You could change the layout. You could find a different hosting environment and, some template GitHub page or Jekyll if you want, or Bootstrap. I don't know what Mateus used. It can't be that hard to change. Is it complicated to change, or is it just that you guys need a
Access.
couple of hours
I think
access?
I don't
No,
remember
we
how
should
to
be able
do
to
it.
edit it. And even
Oh, we
then,
should? Okay.
Mate responds pretty fast. So
Yeah, we'll make sure that he's a senior this year, right?
He's a grad
no,
student.
he is a grad student. He's here
But
though.
okay, but just make sure club leadership has, what you really should do is make it an organization. And that way the organization has I made an organization. The organization has members. So when a member leaves, it's still there. You just give other people permissions. It's different than Paco owning the GitHub repo. And so why don't you make that a task to do that at some point? You just take the name and make it supercomputingclub.org in GitHub and off we go kind of thing.
That's actually one of the things that I've been working on because turns out we have 3 orgs from the last years. I don't know how it happened, but I've been trying to get access to them, so just unify them. So
Yeah, there's been many different versions of the website, but that would be great if we could, first of all, give credit, like the CSE and SDSC donate all the money, and CSE is doing more and more every year. So anyway, let's get this cleaned up. I guess I sent my list of things to you, Paco. I think I sent it to you the other day. Okay, great.
I think you also
I
CC'd
do.
I
me.
saw it. I saw it
Okay,
too.
yeah, I mean, I'm not being snarky. It's just like, let's clean this up and be very professional. Of course, don't go look at my pages on some things because they're not very clean. Oh, the world is a funny place.
Mary, for
Okay,
just one more thing for this
sure.
meeting for the traveling. Some of us started contacting Tammy, and there's some questions that we just want to have the same info with. I sent the link on the chat, but it's pretty much what project task should we be writing here? That's the main one.
Oh, yeah, I don't have all that, do I? Okay. Yeah, hold on. I will right now. I meant to send a note to Fritz because I sent a note to everybody, and then he wrote back, but I never heard back from Amit. So SCC23. Okay, so let me see. And this is internal. I would not have you guys CC'd on this, but thanks, Fritz. Amit at Amit. Can you tell me what the project task number? I think the CSE department came up with like $8,000. So we'll be able to pay for Rachel Hadron, and
Right. She's coming.
Wow, that's great.
she's a student volunteer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think some of the guys wanted to volunteer for a sign it, and then they realized it's 2 weeks. So kind of impossible for a student.
Wait, student volunteer is not 2 weeks. It's
No,
only
no, no.
1 week.
Sign it volunteering.
Oh, sign it. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's also insane though.
It is insane, but I think if you're in a semester environment where you have 18 weeks, even missing 2 whole weeks is more tolerable. But for you guys, just getting that 1 week, and yeah, you know, that is going to be hard enough. And they want you there from Saturday to
Friday, right?
Friday morning, packing things up. Although if somebody like has an exam and the rest of the team's okay with saying, yeah, go Thursday night, we'll take, you don't have to be there Friday morning, but it's fun to be there packing up and watching everything tear down and stuff like that. But you know, it's all negotiable depending on the team. Okay, so I'm gonna put Tammy in
Oh,
here.
before we forget, we need that letter before the school year starts to send to professors about missing that 1 week.
We have a template letter up there, so yes, once you meet with, yes, let's not forget about that. We have a template letter, and I think I uploaded it from SCC22 to 23. Just, do you see it there? Yeah, let me finish my letter, and then let's start a separate email thread on that
Right.
for you and Jijan, Brian, and myself. And we'll get that generalized and get it signed. We can do that like next week. We can target getting that circulating next week.
For sure.
Okay. So Kai, I'll put you down for that. CCing.
Paco, is IEEE associated with Supercomputing Club?
Yeah.
They do a lot of our admin stuff and
So
paperwork.
some of the forms and some of the other stuff there. And
Oh.
so technically like some of us, or actually just me, is an officer of the IEEE org. So Kai is like in there too. Kai,
I'm a large
like,
member,
yeah, yeah.
but
In
I am
fact,
auxiliary to Kalpako.
yeah, actually, look, I have all the responsibility on paper, but for some reason, Kai takes some of it too, which is completely fine by me. Thank you, Kai.
It's chill.
Mary, there's another update.
Okay.
From that last week, I sent out an email to my CSE 175 professor who has been in the semiconductor industry for 30 years. And then he knew the CEO and other executives at both Qualcomm and Intel. And then I sent him an email to see if he can give us some context for these two companies. But he said that it is not a reasonable thing to bother those executives for lending us GPUs. And then what he recommended is to go find local sales or through the IEEE contact resources, because he's also part of the IEEE Live Fellowship, if I remember.
Hmm.
He said there's some organization that from IEEE has contact through with Intel or other companies. I also CC you in the email. The professor responded in the morning. I'm not sure if you see it.
I saw it actually, but like I said, I've been writing reports. And I should politely thank him for his guidance, feedback, and input. And so I think what you want to do is you want to look at Qualcomm and Intel and local and find out who is responsible for kind of like workforce development or education and training. They have big companies would have like and Anthony is our campus rep. So you might want to reach out and find out who's our campus rep. And that might be the IEEE database that he's talking about. And you start with the campus rep. And sometimes it's easy to get their attention and sometimes it's hard. And so we can start reaching out and I did write a fundraising letter that I think Kai might have a copy of it. So remind me next week, Jijan, to share it with you. What I did was I said, we have the team, we're doing student cluster competition, and we are looking for sponsorship in these following ways. And I actually broke it down to like 8 categories, and like t-shirts, $800, you know, t-shirts and stickers, and Microsoft went, yeah, we'll spend that, or meals at the meeting, or travel, or DDN. Still, I haven't heard back from them, but I think they're going to be good for a couple grand. But we also might do a general outreach at some point for the club of, if you want, you can sponsor the competition or other club events like our single board competition in the spring. So you can give them lots of options to do one or all or two. So we generalize parts of it. But that's not so much a student cluster competition thing as a club thing. So we're right now focused on SCC, but in the spring we want to bring more sponsors into the club. And so you guys need to be thinking about a very cool t-shirt. What color should it be? What should the design be? You got a logo, but it's not very exciting unless you put some zap into it. Oh, that's my kitty cat. Hi, Ruby. You can't see her, but she's right there. Cat, have you
Hey,
been? There
finally
she is.
got it.
Cat Kong. You what?
I found the cover letter or the letter from last year.
Okay, great.
I'll
So
upload it to the drive.
yeah, upload it to the drive, make a folder, and then you and Brian and I can iterate on it. It should be good, but it might need to be updated. And what I was thinking is we would have it signed at the bottom by Frank And last year we had to do Bob because Frank was on travel and I was so pitifully late. And so I want Frank and then Mia Min, I think is, Brian would know, but who from the CSE department would be whoever's getting us the funding, and have those two names, one representing campus and one representing SDSC, so they see the dual commitment. And then I guess we could customize it for each student as well, but not necessarily the professor. Jijan, yeah?
If I understand correctly, is it like by next week I will ask you for the letter for funding sponsorship and then find a campus rep and then let the campus rep to send out emails to local Intel core.
No. The letter I'm going to give you will massage it a little bit, but you'll send it to the campus rep and ask him if he can sponsor, or who at his company should you reach out to. Usually they have entire divisions like education division, but I have the Microsoft campus rep. But it's a letter that you would just generalize and send to, or we could customize it to each sponsor. I have like 12 in my
Oh,
database.
so campus rep is for the company who have communication with campus.
Yeah, like Andrew Nordahl is our NVIDIA campus representative, and he
Okay.
does education organizations. So he works with student cluster competition, obviously. He works with clubs. He works with Frank and Amit and Mahidar at the center to bring hardware in. Like he represents AMD Milan on Expanse. So he does customer sales and representation, I think. He could be the campus education rep. NVIDIA used to have two people, but I don't know who they are anymore. Andrew Anthony is the third NVIDIA rep I've worked with. Jim Hook, Don. Yeah, I think he's the third or fourth. But with Jim Hook, Jim was our hardware sales rep. He was sales. And there was another guy who was their education rep. And the same with Microsoft. We had Paul Yu who did our technical training, and then he gave me a campus rep who during COVID, you still have boxes of stuff from Microsoft, those Microsoft bags and the pens, and he just gave me whatever he could find, and we gave it to the team because it was the first year they did virtual competition. So I haven't talked a lot about that, because we just had to get the team up and running. So what we want to do is getting back around to, well, first of all, did that answer your question? And Kai, what you guys needed thought through?
So I will be sending emails to campus reps to see if they can lend us any cards.
Well, not necessarily. We've got the campus rep for NVIDIA. We've got our campus rep basically is Patrick Chow. And I don't know who else is our on-campus AMD rep, but there is a super micro. Patrick Chow is actually super micro, but we do have campus rep for AMD is, I think it is Tom Razor, but he would be for AMD Instinct. And if we decide to go that route, I'd bring them all in. How fast can you get us hardware? Can we use the machine we've got right now? But the A100s, if Frank starts getting us A100s, we already know 12 is the most we want, right? From a power standpoint. And so if Frank gets us a few, then we start poking at other people to see if they've got any lying around. So I think what I heard from you though is just general outreach, fundraising. And so I think we're okay for money for the actually traveling. It's getting the hardware, but then getting money for the club overall down the road is important as well. And then being able to, have some money there to pay for Nano or another more Raspberry Pis or other single boards, or see if somebody wants to provide their single boards to other teams. I mean, how do we want to do the single board competition in the spring? So
we need to think about that sooner than
yeah,
last
we
year
do.
was kind of a mess.
But it worked. You guys had a great time, and other professors, like some professor from Oregon, reached out to me, and I don't know if he reached out to you guys, but he wanted to know how we did it, how we pulled it off. So there is, yeah.
I don't think I saw that email, but I might have just
Paco, did I
skimmed
send
over
it to you?
From I remember I just saw the one from Austin.
I'll look for it. I don't know. I've got to run.
Okay.
I've got to get some work done on this report so I can maybe get some sleep. I have been up since 4:30 this morning, so losing steam. Make a list of things and we just keep attacking them every time we get together. The big thing on Thursday then is putting out a note that we're going to look at all the applications, and maybe you can reach out ahead of time to the mentors that we've got. All right, so I need to make, and I'll do it as soon as we get off the meeting, I'll make the Google group for mentors. Are we going to use Slack, Discord, or all of the above for communication?
We're currently using Discord for the
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we should just continue with that. And then emails for like official things.
Yeah, so can you give me an invitation to the Discord server? I'm sure I'm on it. If you just put one in the chat, then when I invite and add all the mentors to the mentor list, then I'll let them come on the Discord channel.
Yes.
Server, Discord server, is that?
Something like that.
Servers and channels and chats, oh my.
There's a
all right, great. Okay, awesome.
Actually, let me send it again. That way it doesn't have an expiration. Let me.
Right.
Or actually, it says that I'm not allowed.
I'll do it.
While you guys are doing that, Jeremy, you've been really quiet. So what are your thoughts on some of the things? And Tristan, you've been very quiet.
They were
I
not
just see
quiet during the part where we were all talking about the application. So they've been looking at
Oh,
some
okay.
stuff.
I mean, I
What
think
app?
it's cool that we're gonna maybe get the boards from, I think, Frank. That'd be nice.
Your
Oh, for
preference would be A100s?
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
And Jeremy,
Mary.
how about you?
Yeah, I've just been listening mainly. I think in my limited experience with their consumer side of things, NVIDIA stuff has been a lot more reliable for me.
Yeah, and
as a Linux user, I stay away from NVIDIA, but for my own personal stuff.
But the CUDA.
why? The CUDA. Why do you
The
stay away
drivers
from
for
it?
the drivers for Linux are exceedingly painful.
Oh,
What do they
especially
use? What drivers do they use on Expanse?
Well, it's
And
more
that's-
for it's more so compatibility with consumer facing
Yeah.
applications rather than
Mainly until like very recently, all their stuff was closed source, and I think most of it is still closed source now. But like compatibility was really bad, and people use like custom hacked together drivers from like third parties.
Well, there's going to be a specific installation methodology that will learn from what Patrick Chow gives us in the AMD server and what Mahi.
In the Android market, and nvidia has been the single worst company we've ever dealt with. So nvidia, fuck you.
Zishan, you can't do that. Zishan, you can't do that.
He's playing. Yeah, he can't do that. That's Linus Torvald. That's Linus Torvald's video. He's a presentation explaining why it doesn't work. Why Linux doesn't work with NVIDIA.
Oh my God. What do we have on Expanse nodes? They're using this
For compute, NVIDIA stuff is like it works like perfectly. It's for
okay.
it's for everything else that isn't compute.
It's like the personal use part. So
Okay. So Kai, that is
gaming.
It's like I've had meetings where all of a sudden some web browser that's behind, I only have like 10 open right now. No, actually, I got about 12. But you know, when I have like 30 open, somewhere in the back will be some CNN page, and then all of a sudden it clicks into an ad and it turns on the volume, and I can't find them at all. I go through all the windows, and all I can do is kill the Chrome browser and go back and restart everything. So I've had that happen. I thought that's what happened to one of you. I could tell none of you were talking. Okay, let me go do my homework assignment so I can get this done. And great catching up, you guys, and we'll see you on Thursday. Let the games begin, as they like to say. It's like, it's the V100 Hunger Games. Like, we're fighting to get our arrows and quills. And is Frank gonna drop a little balloon in a cup with a bunch of A100? Oh my gosh, this really is pretty brutal. Okay, let me go do the Google group, and I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye, Mary.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mary.
Bye.
Zishan and Tristan, give me your SSH keys. Jeremy, I already gave you access to the cluster.
Wait,
Does it work?
how do I log in?
Is it SSH2?
I'm gonna check right now.
Look at the configs are in the form. So just look at the form, and it should give you the IP and stuff. Wait, what was that, Tristan?
Is it SSH2?
SSH2?
Like, what's the version of the SSH key?
You mean the .pub file? So take the .pub file and then just paste it on you. That's it. And then when you first log in, it'll ask you to set a password. So
Wait,
there's
that, Paco?
multiple versions of SSH keys.
I took it from the SEC stack. Yeah, there's different encryptions. Just use the basic one. Is that
So
what
I
you mean?
realize I'm fucked. Hey Paco, can you like log in as me and like curl my SSH keys?
Sure.
Just log in as me and just curl.
Wait, log in as you?
Yeah. And just do that.
SSH your public?
Yeah. And just curl and pipe that into shell.
Yeah, but so you have the private one. You just don't have the public. Wait, what?
I have the wrong. So the private key, the public key I have on the repo
so you want to see which one?
No, is my old SSH key. Before I like cycled out, I nuked my SSHs and.
Why? Okay, so just send me your SSH key and I'll fix it for you.
Why
do I need to send it back to you? Do you have the other file?
No, like curl like that URL, like https ssh.com, and just pipe it into shell.
Oh,
it'll auto add my SSH key.
Bro, all right. As sudo, all right. This is so cursed.
No, sudo and then log in as me, because it does it in the home directory.
Okay.
Paco, which
better not be stupid.
I have two here.
Anyone that you want to be configured. On the Google Forms, you can see that it says identity file .ssh your private key. So give me the .pub one.
No, I mean I have two. One is ed and one is RSA.
Yeah,
Which
that's
one?
what I'm
RSA.
saying. Give me whatever one
ID
you want, and then in the identity file on your SSH config, point it to the one you wanted to use. That's it. All right.
Which one do you recommend me sharing?
Kai,
Huh?
you
What?
don't have a user.
You fucker! You fucked me! You fucked me!
Okay. Well, what SSH key? All right, I'm gonna add Tristan first. Just give me a second. Seriously, you fucker, dude. I'm here doing God's work. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, I've
What?
typed standard into GCC, okay, Jeremy? I've done worse.
Bro, I've never seen. What the fuck is this?
What?
Begin SSH public key? Comment? What?